Hey guys, it's Gina Militia from GinaMilitia.com, and today I want to show you how to bring life into the eyes of your portraits using Lightroom. So on the screen now I've got an image that I shot recently in Cuba, and I like everything about the image. There's lots of detail going on in the beard, lots of richness in the shot. And basically, here's the before shot, and here is just some minor adjustments that I've done to bring out the texture, particularly in the beard and in the skin tone. So basically, what I've done is just opened up the exposure a little bit. I've dropped the highlights, opened up the shadows to bring in like lift the tones there in the middle there, and also added some black, a little bit of clarity, drop the saturation and some vibrance. So everything, I'm pretty happy with how it's looking overall. The only issue I have is that there isn't a good catch light in the eyes. Now, I could have changed this if I had have had time. I could have popped a reflector into the shot and perhaps reflected some light back into the eyes, and that would have given a nice catch light. I could have used some fill flash, or I could have maneuvered my model so that I had a light background. Often it's a window or something light colored behind me that would have reflected into the eyes and given a nice catch light. I don't have that, so the eyes look a little dead. They look soulless to me. So what I'm going to do is use the adjustment brush, and that's in the develop module. It's this little icon here. The shortcut is K. So bring that up. You get a drop down menu. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a brush, give it a little bit of a feather, and make sure that the brush is about the size that it'll fit just around the iris there of the eyes. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lift my exposure a little bit. And what I like to do is I like to keep my flow around 50, and I'll bring the density up so that you can see what I'm doing really quickly. And what I'm going to do, all right, so we've zoomed in on the eyes, and what I'm going to do now is just, and I'll bring up the shadows as well, is I'm just going to bring out some more detail there in the eyes. So I'm just going to bring out the brown tones in the eye, and what you can see happening is there are little flecks, there are highlights there. I just didn't manage to get them with the exposure that I shot at. So what I want to do is really bring out these little flecks of white, which are actually catch lights that weren't exposed properly. So I've done one sweep there with the brush, so you can see there the before and after, and that's added some tone in the eye. So the eyes are actually a brown tone, but because of the way I exposed the shot, you're not seeing that tone. I can also add a little bit of warmth here just by adjusting my temperature slider. And what I'm going to do now is that's my just adjusting the iris there, and now I just want to add enhance these little flecks of white that I can just see there with a new brush. And I'm going to just tackle the whites and the highlights now. So I'll get rid of the shadows, and I'll just drop the exposure back, and I'm going to come in and just go over those areas there where you see those little white flecks, and that's hopefully just going to bring out the little spots and the highlights in the eyes a little bit more. And let's see if what happens if I just increase my exposure a little bit more, up the whites and up the highlights. So it's just telling Lightroom to just focus on the highlight areas of that particular spot there. So you can see now that there is a bit more life. So if you see before and after, you can see that that's starting to look a bit better. Now, the bit that's concerning me is probably this area here, and over here is possibly a little bit too bright. So what I'll do is if I come back and hover over this toggle here, I can come back to that area and just drop the exposure down a little bit. All right, so let's have a look now. We can see before and after, and if I zoom out, and I'll just hide those areas, we can see that now there is a lot more life in the eyes. And in fact, one thing I'll do is I'm just going to bring in a new brush. I can see that the left eye of the person is a little bit brighter than his right eye. So camera left is darker than camera right. So what I'm going to do is just with a new brush, just come in and just brighten that up overall so that they both match. So we can see now before and after, and I think that overall that's looking a lot better. You can see a little sparkle and just picking up the catch lights that weren't there but that in the shot, but are definitely there now once we've tweaked the shot a bit.